You might think Eddy Goldfarb's dozens of toy creations are little more than child's play. But as Luke Burbank shows us, he's got the years and the toys to prove you wrong.
If you had a toy or game that you really loved anytime in the last 70 or so years, there's a decent chance you've got Eddy Goldfarb to thank for it. Are you thinking about inventions even now?
Oh yes, I'm working on 2 or 3 right now.
Yes, at age 102, Eddy Goldfarb is still inventing, adding to his list of over 800 toys.
I believe if you do creative work of any kind, if you start with nothing and end with something, it stimulates your brain, and I think that's very good for your body.
Growing up in Chicago in the 1920s, Goldfarb believed he would someday be an applied physicist. But lacking the money for college, he joined the Navy and fought on the USS Batfish submarine during World War II. When he wasn't dodging depth charges, he was in his bunk, jotting down ideas for toys to invent. He figured they might be cheap to manufacture.
Toys was going to be just a beginning. I realized that if I invented a successful game, it could sell 1 million units in 1 year easily, that 1 million families got together. And I realized that the toy industry is a noble industry.
And you might say Eddy first cut his teeth in the toy industry, quite literally, with an invention you're probably familiar with.
This is what it does.
Yes, Eddy Goldfarb invented those wind-up, chattering teeth, which are technically called Yakity-Yak. I mean, could you have ever imagined this would be something that defined your life?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Despite the millions of sets of teeth that have been sold over the years, Eddy made just $900 when he sold the rights to them back in 1949. But he's not mad, he says. He got something valuable with the money.
I needed an overcoat. It was really cold in Chicago.
He did, though, learn a lesson, which was to hang on to those royalty rights of his other inventions, including what he says was his biggest seller, the mini 4x4 replicas known as Stompers. But it was when we sat down to play a game of Ker Plunk, which he also invented, that Eddy admitted something.
I invented so many games, I never played them.
I think people would be very surprised to hear that, because it would seem like you must have been sort of like a Willy Wonka, like very childlike and playing the games all the time. You're saying that wasn't the case?
No, I was too busy inventing them.
Growing up in a house where where inventions were happening, where toys were being, conceived. I mean, that was a really great atmosphere, to grow up in.
Lyn Goldfarb and her 2 siblings got to be the first to play with their dad's inventions, but they were sworn to secrecy from talking about them with their friends.
You never show anybody till it's out, because otherwise, it could get stolen. Who knew?
Lyn, a filmmaker, even made a documentary about her dad a few years ago, following his journey.
This is the bubble gun in action.
If you had to sort of attribute his longevity and his continued mental acuity to anything, what do you think he's doing that's helping him with all of that?
He is an eternal optimist.
3D printing is one of Eddy's latest obsessions, including creating lithophanes, intricate 3-dimensional portraits that he makes on his 3D printer. He makes them for the people he loves and sometimes for Sunday morning correspondents.
Should I be smiling?
With a short interruption for a photo shoot, it was time to get back to playing Ker Plunk.
Hey.
Oh my God.
That, I'm a natural.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
Okay, so now you for it. Oh, you gave me a lot of marbles.
Oh, those are yours?
In fact, Eddy Goldfarb still has all his marbles, you might say, and a remarkably positive outlook as he enters his second century of life.
You have to be an optimist, but I also tell people you have to love rejection.
Every idea that you have, you think is going to be the next big thing.
Oh yeah, I think they're going to be big items, yeah.
It was actually a small item from Eddy that arrived at my house some weeks later. It was that lithophane portrait of me he'd promised to make. Just another example of Eddy Goldfarb brightening somebody's day.